pedagogical circles, everybody now teaches bent thumb on the cello, which to me is really odd because most of the greatest cellists have played with a straight thumb or even a collapsed thumb. Rostropovich and Feuermann both had completely backwards collapsed thumb, and both of them played great.
So it wasn't
Piatigorsky,
much about the thumb then, because it's almost like the thumb is just resting in there, just
yeah,
helping you to balance
right.
more than
At the
adding it
yeah,
any weight or
exactly.
anything.
And so if it works right, I would never try and change how it's working for somebody. Now, but if someone has been forced to play with a bent thumb and the length of their fingers and thumbs didn't accommodate that, because I have very short thumbs. So if I bend it, it gets even shorter. So I play with a straight thumb. And luckily, my first teacher didn't try and force me to play with a bent thumb.
Yeah.
But the only beginning method
better.
book that I know that says you could do either is Paul Rowland's book.
Oh,
He's
really?
the only one that said you can play with a bent thumb or a straight thumb. Every other music education technique book that I've ever looked at says bent
That's
thumb.
where I got it from. I mean,
Yes.
it wasn't until our cello teacher in our school said, really, actually, it could be just more relaxed.
And that's the important thing, is that
it.
it's got to be relaxed at the frog.
Mhm.
That's where it's got to be relaxed.
Okay.
And if it's relaxed bent or if it's relaxed straight, who cares?
Can I ask you
Yeah.
one more question about like the cello placement? So like coming the cello, bringing it to the child, because that seems like that's another component. Like the bow is one issue, and then like
Well,
just never
most people, there are a few different ways that cellists sit in terms of their legs. There are those that put their legs in between the legs of the chair, and those that put their legs on the outside of the chair. And a few people, like Leonard Rose, who's the middle picture there on the piano, that sat with his right leg forward. But if you look, here's Rostropovich. So he was legs on the outside of the chair, which is also the way that Casals sat. Piatigorsky and Yo-Yo, you can see legs on the inside of the chair. Feuermann is like Rostropovich, legs on the outside of the chair.
Yep.
So that you could do it either if they want to sit this way or if they want to sit this way. And Carter Bray, principal cellist in New York Phil, sits this way, but most cellists don't sit with their legs out in front of them. They sit either this way or this way.
Because then that doesn't give that leaning motion either. Though,
Well,
that
you
you're
still
talking
can.
about.
I mean, it's just that when I do this, I feel more inclined to go forward.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, if I see a really first-class cellist who plays the other way, I know it's not impossible.
Yeah, don't switch it. I see.
But I would have cellists either this way or this way. This is probably going to be the most common because it's probably the most comfortable
Yeah.
rather than this. And in general, you want your knee to be along here on this side, and this corner should go here.
So
And
that's
if you put your knee inside here, the cello tends to kind of start getting crooked. That's what happened to me when I started, and this is me as a kid, and I can see where my knee is.
Oh yeah, I see. That's funny.
And the cello then, if you do that, if this is like that and this is like this, then the cello is slanted this way, and that's the way it should be. And if you look around at pictures of all these cellists, you'll see you can see it more in some pictures than in others. Well, there you can see with Yo-Yo how slanted the cello is. And that, if the cello is completely straight, then to play in the A string,
Right.
your elbow has to be really up this way. And that's, you want to be like that so that it's more relaxed. And you have to figure out how long the end pin should be so that it actually fits in there that way comfortably, so that you can sit up and the cello is probably going to hit you about. So this is the center of the cello
Uh-huh.
in terms of playing, rather than this.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
That's what's going to rest against me.
Oh, cool.
And this knee just holds, so it sort of rests there. And
It does
then
rest
grabs
there.
it here.
Does it rest on both legs then?
Well, now
Not necessarily. For you.
Piatigorsky, my teacher, whose legs were so long, you can see. Look where his
Just
knee
depends
is
on
in this
how they
picture.
Oh, okay.
So when he played on the C string, most chairs were too low for him. So he had to get his knee out of the way to play on the C string.
Okay.
So essentially, most of the time the cello is resting here and here.
Okay. Your left leg. Got it.
Because this leg is what supports the angle.
Okay.
But at this, I don't want to lean on the cello. I want to, if I'm going to move my body a little bit, then I have to hold the cello a little more between my knees so that I can move underneath the cello. So if I have to play up here and I want to be a little more forward and don't want to be too much like this, I have to be able to move. But mostly I want to feel like this, not like that.
Okay. Would you
So
say
it's
anything
coming
about
down like
your?
this.
Sometimes I hear some people saying about the level of your ear. Sometimes the first peg in there.
Yeah, I don't even really think much
Okay.
about that because I want to feel how the body of the cello is resting.
Fits it.
You know, so I
On
mean,
your
I've got
leg.
this on the ground, this knee, and this knee, and if everything is right that way, this is going to be where it is. Now, you know, for some older, really tall cellists,
Might be.
you know, they've invented these posture pegs where you get rid of that peg that gets it out of the way.
Oh.
But since the cello is not completely, I mean, this would be symmetrical, so the cello has to be tipped a little bit this way.
Yeah.
But since it's
Rotate it
also
that way.
tipped this way, this is the way the cello is actually balanced when you're playing. Because if the cello is completely balanced on the end pin, it's going to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
And so completely symmetrical would be like this.
Yeah.
But since I can't play that way, I have to do
Tilt that.
this,
Uh-huh.
and then I have to do
And it tilts.
that,
Uh-huh.
and so then the cello
Ah.
is balanced this way against me. And so to keep it that way, that's what this knee does, and this knee does, to hold it that angle. And I don't really move it a whole lot, but you can see, here's Feuermann, you can see how much he's moved his body, and he's also done it before he did this up bow. You know, when I was leaning from side to side,
Yeah.
that's what he's doing, because he wouldn't be leaning that way. He's already started the up bow, you can see from his hand.
Yes, yes.
Very cool.
And you can
That's
see
too up
how,
there too. I love that angle. We can see that. Definitely see that change on the angle.
and of course, even in still photos, you can see whether someone's doing an up bow or a down bow.
Yep.
I mean, clearly he's doing an up bow here,
Oh,
Yeah.
neat. Yeah, you're right.
and so is Piatigorsky,
Yeah.
because you can see his fingers are pushed back that way, and his
Yeah.
arm is leading the other way. And here, Rostropovich, in this picture on the piano, he's clearly doing a down bow, because everything is, you know, pulled in that
Yes,
direction.
yes, yes.
Wow, super cool.
Is he smoking while he's playing there?
And in fact, his cello was then later played by Aldo Pariso. You know his name?
No, I don't know all the
'Cause
parts.
he was originally from Brazil, and he used to smoke a lot. And he actually, that's a famous Stradivarius cello. He charred the varnish here because one of his ashes fell on the
Fell
cello.
on the cello.
Oh, wow. That's great. This is awesome.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. We learned so much.
Yes.